Hello, and welcome to another Doctor Who System 1 video, and today I'm doing another Doctor Who comic book review. Now, I've been thinking for a while, if you want to comment below if you think this is a good idea, I've been thinking about doing a Doctor Who comic book collection now, because obviously some people may have only just recently subscribed and whatnot, or just stumbled across one of my videos regarding comic book reviews of the Doctor Who ones that Titan Comics do, and maybe have liked them, and maybe just want to have a brief idea of what I think of each one, and how many I've got and whatnot. Not to brag, but just to kind of show people that there have been quite a few of these comics. But nonetheless, onto the review. This is the 10th issue, marked there, 10th issue of the Doctor Who Titan Comics. I love how the barcode is even implemented into this little TARDIS. Cover AJ. I love this cover. This cover is pretty cool, actually. Once you read the comic, you'll get what this this cover is like. I think comparing this one from what I can remember of the last issue, issue 9, this sort of the Doctor Who logo here is sort of see-through there, but is still in this sort of diamond blocky thing. Then you've got a still of David Tennant, Doctor Who, and then you've got like a silhouette with loads of words in them, and then you've got this sort of circly, spirally thing. You've got Doctor Who there, and then you've got BBC, and then a new adventure with the 10th Doctor, which it is. So basically what I mean is, or what that means is, a new adventure. It's basically a new chapter in this sort of series of comics. Now, I think whenever it says that in them, I think that's a good idea and indication. It's basically saying, you know, this is a good starting point. So if you've never picked up any of the other ones, but you've been on the fence about buying the 10th Doctor comics, and you like the 10th Doctor, I think this is a must-have because it's a good starting point. Now, I think because I've read issue 6 onwards, and I've got issue 5, but issue 6 onwards, I felt like this one was very basic of a story. Here it gives you a quick synopsis on the Doctor, Gabby, and Cindy. A new character, but you get like a little character bio on everyone. Previously, what happened in the previous issue, just to kind of catch everyone up. Titan Comics website, Twitter, and Facebook if you need to contact them. Issue 10 there, Doctor Who, the 10th Doctor. And then you've got some nice panel artwork here. Really cool artwork. At first I thought it was quite creepy and eerie, but I don't know, I think it's a very basic, very basic sort of story. It's not as sort of gripping and as dark and as gritty and suspenseful as the Weeping Angel story arc, I think. And I think that's why, I don't know, I the best way of describing this comic is it's a very, like, sometimes you get those very basic watches and all those meh episodes where they're not particularly terrible, but they weren't extremely, jaw-droppingly interesting. They're just watchable and enjoyable, but you're not always going to rewatch it because it's just a meh episode. It's enjoyable and watchable, but you're not proper enthralled, and I think that's the best way to describe this one. I really do like the premise of these sort of creatures. I don't want to spoil what the creatures are, but in the back you've got, your usual weird comic strip thing that I've never read, but it's supposed to be comedic. Then you've got, you can download the issues onto your smartphones and tablets and whatnot, you youngsters with your technology, and whatnot. So you've got all the other issues. Then it says if you subscribe to Titan Comics, you get Blood of the Daleks Part 1 and 2 free. Alternative covers, that one and that one. That one I feel like's a bit too extreme. Like, I don't feel like this situation's that extreme. On sale June the 11th issue. And then it just says here that I think there's only like 5 more parts to this one. So, and then it just advertises the 9th Doctor issue 2. That's coming out, maybe, I think. So, yeah. Yeah, as I say, it's not the most, I don't know, it's not the most complex sort of story or whatnot. I would compare this, if I could give you a good idea of what I mean, that it's a meh episode. It's like The Lodger. I enjoy it. I gave that a 7 out of 10. From what I can remember, I recently did on the Big Blue podcast, they asked, what other people thought. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's an enjoyable episode, and this one feels very much like that. It's like, it's an enjoyable read, but there's no massive oomph. There's not, you're not sat on the edge of your seat as you're reading it. You're just reading it, and it's enjoyable, and it's killing however long it'll take you to read it. But yeah, this is quite disturbing though, like this sort of panel. And I like how there's lots of noise, and the effect that they do for the noise is like giant letters and whatnot. I thought that was pretty cool. I like the way that the 10th Doctor's drawn in this. I probably like the way that the 10th Doctor's written in the comics way better than he was actually portrayed in the show, which is quite weird, really. But yeah, again, mainly a good pickup if you're on the fence about getting these Titan comics and you've never got one, but you want one, but you don't know where to start. This is a must-have if you're like that. If that's you, this is a must-have, I think, because as I say, it's a new point. It's like, they mentioned stuff before, but it's not like they mentioned stuff that so intricately detailed that you needed to have read the other ones to get them. They just mentioned the monsters in those two sort of, previous story threads. And literally, one of them's specific one to the comic, and one is one that's already been in the show, which is the Weeping Angel. So, you kind of have an idea. So there's basically what I mean is it's not like Marvel or DC comics where you have needed to pick up every single other issue to have got what the story is. This one's a good starting point, and I think it's a must-have for anyone who's, as I say, on the fence about getting them. If you've already got issue 9 and you're thinking about buying this one, I think, well, it's personally up to you. You can spend the money and buy it, and have a decent read, or you can skip this one if you want. You don't have to buy it, unless you're a aficionado and a completionist. Then I guess you need to buy it. But I think this one's passable. Like, basically what I mean is you can just go without it if you want anyway. But it is a different and separate story to the Weeping Angel one, because that one finished in issue 9. So yeah, I'd give this comic a well-earned 7 out of 10. Thanks for watching, comment, rate and subscribe.